This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, if you guys don't mind muting unless you have a question, because if not, we'll all echo. Thank you, thank you. All right, so I'm super excited to have you guys. There's a ton of you in here to have you guys here today. I like to do these seminars, especially towards the end of the year, to kind of we can all get ready for the next year and the success that's coming. My name is Paris, and I have the group Arise to the Top that a lot of you are familiar with that are in as well. I have a Rise to the Top masterclass, and I do a bunch of different IBO things to help IBOs get started. So, welcome, welcome. We have a lot of things that we're going to go over today. This class, I think, is best, especially for our newer IBOs. Feel free to ask any questions you may have. I don't think you guys can see each other in the chat box, but if you ask a question in there, I will read it aloud so that everyone can hear it. Probably everyone has the same questions. So we have a few people that will also be in here for the meeting, talking about taxes and perks and different things. So I'm excited to get started with you. For those of you that don't know me, I have the IBO Virtual Alliance. Well, that's the one I started with, but we do IBO acquisitions. So I have that one and 10 others. I also own a restaurant delivery service, moving meals, and I have a consulting firm and a cannabis formulation company. So, but it all started here with the Rise. So everyone that's like, can you really make money off of a Rise? You can. I did, and still do, and took it and branched off into other fields and other things. So you're definitely in a great spot with your entrepreneurship endeavors and those sorts of things. So let's get started. The first part of this is going to be pretty much a lot of you will already know because most of you are already IBOs. But for those that don't know, because I do record these, and a lot of you know that I upload my videos to YouTube. So in order to become an IBO, the must-haves are your LLC or incorporation, your EIN, and a business bank account. Your LLC needs to be S or C Corp. Or like I said, or you can be incorporated according to Arise. They want you to be S or C Corp. Those are your must-haves. You have to have that in order to be an IBO to get started. Your should-haves, this is a list that I usually give IBOs of things that you should have. And mind you, the things that we talk about in here, nothing is set in stone. These are all just suggestions based upon my experience and a lot of different IBOs experiences. A website, you're definitely going to want to have a website, your domain. Try to get your domain name as close to your actual IBO name as possible if you can't get the exact replica of it. You'll want to have a professional email. You know, we're in an industry where we all have been hit with the, oh, you have to pay to work. It's a scam situation because people don't understand independent contractor concepts sometimes. So you definitely will want to get a professional email, arise at toocloseforcomfort.com or just whatever your business name is. A business phone number, you're going to want to have a business phone number. And if you are building business credit, you'll definitely want to have, you'll have to have an 800 number. So, oh, no problem, Darlene. You're right on time. You're good. So, like I said, if you're doubling up and building your business credit with your company, you will need the website, the domain, the professional email. If you're doing business credit, you'll need an 800 number. If you're not doing business credit, you can get a local number or whatever type of number you would like. Social media pages, you'll definitely want to have some sort of footprint on the internet, social media wise. I'm a huge advocate with Facebook. I love Facebook, y'all. That have been in my classes and stuff know that I talk about Facebook all the time. I've built my company off Facebook initially. So I love Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. Like those are all social media accounts. Pick a few and get some of them. And Legal Shield is a great thing to have, especially at the beginning of starting your company, to have a company that you can pretty much call and ask an attorney questions. Because although these videos and classes are great and informative, laws vary from state to state. So laws that are in my state may not be in yours and vice versa. You'll want to speak with an attorney to make sure you're legally legit. They also can review documents for you. We're going to talk about the independent contract agreement that you really need to have. And regardless of whether you do your own, whether you buy them, however you do it, whomever you get them from, you'll want to make sure it's legally binding for your situation. Legal Shield can review those for you. So that's a great protection to have. As far as legal knowledge goes, you will want to learn legal verbiage. If you're in the Arise to the Top Facebook group, then you guys already know, if you went to the file section, that I made like a little verbiage chart for you that kind of gives you some 1099 terms that you may have been, W-2 terms versus the 1099 terms. So when you're dealing in this business, unless you come in and employ your agent, it's your company, you can. Is it a smart idea to come in and have employees? I don't think so on the Arise model, but I do know of a few IBOs that have done it. I just personally don't think it's a good idea. So if you're doing 1099s, then you need to completely erase W-2 vocabulary out and learn the verbiage for 1099s. Like I just said, Legal Shield is great to have to help you with that. Legally, you'll want your independent contract agreement and just a basic understanding, at least, of being a 1099 and what it means at tax time. So before you even start recruiting, this list of things you really should have in order. Now, a lot of people they ask, well, why be an agent if I can become an IBO? Everybody wants to be an IBO these days. Everybody thinks that you become an IBO and then, like, bam, coins are just falling into your bank account. It is a lot of work. Being an IBO is definitely not for someone who's not willing to put in the work. Your bank account is going to reflect the amount of work that you're putting into it. So if you're doing part-time work, you're going to get part-time deposits. So if you're becoming an IBO thinking that, or you're an IBO just thinking that this is just going to pay out within a month, you're definitely in the wrong field. Some do you're absolutely right. Some do part-time work and don't even get deposits from it. So definitely have this in order before you proceed and try to recruit. I see a ton of IBOs come in, they do the legal stuff, and then they're like, all right, now where's my agents? I'm going to recruit. Nobody wants to be in a company that is run by someone that doesn't know the system. And believe me, that a lot of us, we've been in several other fields. It's a different beast of its own. Arise is a whole different ball game, especially when it comes to recruiting. So take the time to invest in yourself. If you don't know anything about Arise, don't bring anybody else into the things that you're doing until you learn it. Learn it either A, by taking the hours, doing the research, servicing yourself, or B, there are classes out there. I said I have master class. I know that there are several other classes being offered for helping you to become an IBO. Invest in yourself so that you can properly assist. If you're not legally registered, this is a website where you can go, really just Google your state and Secretary of State. And then the websites will come up that you need and give you the information that you need to get legally registered. Most states you can do it online. I think there's one or two that have not adopted the online registration. Costs, it depends on where you're at. I've seen $50. I've seen all the way up to $800, depending on what type of legalization you're doing. So costs can vary from, like in Georgia, it's $100 and then $50 a year for an LLC. Florida, you have to mail it in with a money order of about $150. So yeah, just Google your Secretary of State with your state and get the directions. If you don't trust yourself to build your LLC, nothing wrong with, there's different companies that do. I think LegalZoom, there's a few others, Rocket Lawyer, but there are companies that will build it for you and charge you. If you choose to go with one of those companies to build your LLC, don't pay them to get your EIN. Like one of them, it was like $75 or $50, and they'll get your EIN too. Your EIN is free on the IRS website, so you don't have to pay for that. The next thing you'll need is your business bank account. There are a ton of banks out there. Ms. Sheffield said in Florida that you can do it for $125 online. So there's a ton of banks out there that you can look into. I always say start with the bank that you have an account with already. So like if you have a Wells Fargo account, ask them about their business bank accounts. There's Chase, there's Ally Bank, Bank of America, Fidelity, TD, Wells Fargo, PNC, ASLO. Like there's a ton of banks out there that you can get business bank accounts with to get your stuff started and going, usually between $25 to $50 deposit. So once you do this, it can take, they say up to 10 days. Sometimes I tell people up to 14 because I've seen it, for you to get registered in the system, for you to be able to transfer your IBO over and it register with the RISE. So if you get your EIN, you're probably not going to be able to go same day or next day to the RISE site and register. You're going to have to wait for them to be able to pull it in the system. Like I said, that can take anywhere up to 10 to 14 days. Sometimes it's sooner. Just kind of check day to day. If it comes up that your EIN or company can't be found, it just hasn't registered yet. So no worries there. Just check the next day. All right. So after you get all this good legalization done, you want to build your foundation before you start recruiting. And I keep stressing this because I've seen, especially over this last year, a lot of IBOs just kind of jump in and just start bringing people in. Build your foundation first so that you're not having to build it later or go back and rebuild or anything like that. Just go ahead and get your ducks in a row first. The things that you need to know and build before recruiting, you need to know your payroll dates. When will you be paying your agents? 1st and the 15th, 15th and the last day of the month, most common dates. I go with the 15th and the last day. It gives you time to process whatever pay you need to process for your agents. Once you get a larger company, you'll definitely appreciate the extra time. If you're building business credit and you're going to go for some sort of a loan or something like that, it allows the money to sit into your bank account longer. So your daily transactions appear to be higher. So when you do go in for a loan, your daily transactions look, if you're getting $5,000 deposits, whether it's your money or you're paying your agents the money, it doesn't matter. If it sits there and your daily transactions are reflecting that, you're more likely to get a loan if you need to get one for your business. So aside from it giving you time to help you pay, do your payroll process, whatever you have to do, it's beneficial business credit wise. But pick whatever date you like. Those are the two most common. And Arise deposits on different days. Sometimes holidays affect it, weekends. And Arise used to do it deposit before the weekend or the holiday, but now we seem to be getting them after. So those dates are pretty consistent where you'll be able to pay them without having to change your pay dates depending on what Arise is doing. So it'll offer your company some consistency. Pay method. How are you going to pay your agents? Is it going to be via direct deposit? All of that stuff. Are you going to do checks? Are you going to pay them via PayPal, Cash App? Just for me personally, because we already deal with the stigma of people not really understanding the concept of, again, independent contractor necessarily when they come on board, you don't want to lead with paying with Cash App or PayPal. Okay, everybody's used to direct deposits. I would lead with that. Now, could you offer some of those other options to your agents? Most definitely. We have three or four different options that we offer our agents, but we lead with direct deposit. And your pay scale. How are you paying your agents? Are you paying what Arise pays? Are you paying less than what Arise pays? You need to figure those things out. The rules and requirements for your company, you need to have that outlined. How can they contact you? Your independent agent agreement. Are you going to require deposits? We know that some of Arise's clients have additional charges to them. You may want to consider that when you're looking at your contracts and you're deciding if you'll require a deposit or not. Lines of communication and hours of availability. You need to have that mapped out and make it clear. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. When I first started, a lot of you, and I've said it on a few of my last video, a few others, so are very familiar with, well, I won't say when I first started, when I really started growing my company, but with I've had a baby girl and she passed away. And so I really just worked nonstop. Day, night, I just worked. It was my coping mechanism. So I was available 24 hours a day. Like if you hit me at 3 a.m, I was answering right back. It doesn't last too long. About a year into doing that, I was worn out. So I would definitely recommend being available, but definitely put limits on it. You guys still hearing the echo?
I don't.
No? Yes, slightly. Attendee 16 is echoing. All right, if everybody can mute. All right, I see it. Let me see, mute. All right, how about now? Are we good to go? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll back up. Can you elaborate on how to do direct deposit, transfer funds? Okay, so with direct deposit, it depends on how you elect to do your payments. You can, like, say if you have Wells Fargo, they have a direct pay option to where literally you just type in how much you need to deposit into your agent's account, hit send, and they get their deposit next day. I think Chase has something similar. If you choose to go with a company like Intuit or Zenefits, they collect the direct deposit information. Usually I think they have mostly 2 to 3 day payday turnaround time, but they can do direct deposit that way too. The most cost efficient way is like Wells Fargo's direct pay or one of those types of things. Capital One does it too. That I know Chase does it. But when doing it that way with those types of services, you will be responsible for creating your own invoices. Whereas with Intuit or ADP, those types of systems usually create the invoices for you. Even Square, you can pay through Square and it creates the invoices for you. The Arise pay schedule is in the portal. If you go in and just under Ava and type in pay schedule, and the new one should be coming out, but it's probably not going to come out to like either the week before or the final week of December. There's usually not a hurry on it. Chase equals Zelle. There are Zelle payments, but Zelle is a little bit different than like the direct pay options. Do I send a small test deposit to new agent accounts? When I was using the direct pay, no. I know with Wells Fargo, that's what I started with. If the accounts did not work, it would not approve like Wells Fargo. It would come up that it was an error. You saw that I have a masterclass scheduled for January. Yes, the next 2 classes. It'll be 4 consecutive classes starting, I believe, January the 9th. Aslo, I haven't personally used Aslo, but I do know that a lot of people say that they have Aslo now. So you really don't have to worry about sending the test deposits. I said I haven't. Wells Fargo won't. I'm sure Chase, from what I see, won't either. But most banks, if the account number is not correct, it won't let it go through.
What's Aslo?
Aslo is another, like an online bank. I do see, let's see, once you start processing large payments, Aslo will limit your account. Square will as well sometimes, but you just have to verify it. Yeah, Wells Fargo will verify the pay before adding them to your account. I really like Wells Fargo. Some people don't. They're pretty good. I know before I used to recommend Navy Federal. Y'all do not get a Navy Federal account for Arise. They do not. They will shut your account down. So they do not want to do business and partner with the whole Arise situation. And yes, they will know once that Arise deposit hits, they will shut your account down. So steer clear of Navy Federal with your Arise business stuff. Sean, you just got Navy Federal. Yeah, you might want to get a backup bank. I have Navy Federal Business from my other company. They're excellent business accounts, and they offer a lot of support. But when they start realizing those deposits are coming from Arise, Sean, they're going to shut your account down. Why are they biased? I'm not sure. I did not inquire about that.
I can tell you if you want.
Yes.
I have Navy Federal, and when I first became an IBO, I applied for Navy Federal because I love Navy Federal. And I got all the way to the last step, and somebody called me from customer service and said, "I'm sorry, but we wasted your time, but we can't let you have a business account." When I asked her to explain it to me, she said it was because it was Arise. And she said they've had multiple disputes dealing with Arise, and they have them on their blacklist. So my suggestion is even if they let you in because they don't realize it's Arise, have a backup.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just Arise. There was a few other companies. There were several others they had on there as the blacklist. It wasn't just Arise, but they don't deal in any what they consider. I guess they consider Arise like an MLN marketing or something. I don't know why. and they said they had just had too many disputes. And I said, and somebody told me in the IBO groups one time, they said, well, they'll never know, just don't tell them. They end up finding out because they'll see who is depositing the money.
I was gonna say, well, the deposits say Arise Virtual Solutions on them.
Yeah. And they may not catch it, but I said that to somebody a year ago, and it wasn't 3 months later, and she got caught, and they shut her down completely. Like, they shut the business account down completely.
But can't you
Yeah.
put it in another bank and just transfer the money over to Arise? I mean, to Navy Federal.
You
Like if you
can, but honestly, like the hassle of doing that, it's not really like a big, yeah, I don't think it's worth it unless you're trying to get like one of their business loans, so you need their bank account, then maybe like, the behind the scenes maneuvering of that type of stuff, but I don't think it's worth it. I could just get a bank that deals with Arise.
Okay.
Honestly, if you want an actual bank, this is just my opinion, and I know a lot of people that have them. Bank of America is wonderful.
And then a lot of people use Intuit with them.
Yes, I do. That's who I have
Yeah.
now. And I if you get the Business Advantage membership, you end up paying like $29.95 a month to have the Business Advantage, but then you get the Intuit free, and then you get your first free month's free for doing payroll. After 3 months, it's $20 a month or $21.95 a month, and you get to pay up to 20 contractors, and then anything after 20 contractors is $2. It's one of the cheapest.
Yeah.
And then they generate the invoices for you, right?
You use what's called View Post, and it's connected on your account when you have the Business Advantage. And you actually just go in and they pull the information over from your payroll and generate the invoice. Or you can do that. Plus, when you pay your payroll, there's a little button at the bottom, and it says, would you like an email link sent? And you click that, and it sends the person you're paying an email link where they can click it open and see their invoice right there.
So yeah,
It's really neat.
That's good. I like it.
Do you
It
provide
takes a little time getting used to because you don't have somebody there like walking you through it step by step. But once you do one payroll, it's really simple.
So yes, so that's a great option. As far as do I provide CSPs with pay stubs for every invoice? So you're gonna take pay stubs out your vocabulary and refer to it as invoices. Yes. Whether they make $0 because the fee ate their invoice, or they make $500, I'd always provide them. You have to provide them with that. And when you do your invoices, especially if you do them yourself, you need to have on there the fees that are deducted out of whatever fees you have, what their pay is, any fees taken out, and then what they actually got deposited into their account.
Paris, on that, do you put on the invoice? Do you put a rise fee and then like an administrative fee? I mean, what verbiage do you use?
Are you asking if I separate it out?
Yes, or do you just do it all in one?
Yes, I do both of them. Now,
Okay.
initially, I did a rise and administrative fee on one line and just had the complete fee. But just after getting some consulting with my legal team, we started separating them out. So the Arise fee shows, and then our company fee shows.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to scroll through the chat at the same time to get the questions. Is it okay to start off doing PayPal since it's free as business revenue grows? Then link with Wells Fargo or another banking company? Well, you're going to need a business bank account for Arise to deposit the money into. A lot of people in here are saying that they love Bank of America. Sherry, is this an hour meeting? Probably going to be a little bit over that.
Paris, your meetings are always over an hour.
They are. Well, my becoming an IBO are usually not. I usually try to cap it, but there's a lot of stuff and then we have, yeah, we're going to be here over an hour.
No, and Bank of America, I just want to throw out there, not that I'm really trying to promote them or anything, but they offer you discounts. Like if you have a business advantage account, you get all these discounts. Like for instance, if we go to Dairy Queen, if you're a Bank of America member, you automatically get 10% off everything. Like they offer so much that it'll be right there on the front page of when you log in, of all the discounts you can use. And I love their mobile app because all your discounts are there too. So say you're like, you didn't think about going to Dairy Queen that night and you go by there, you just pull up your mobile app and ching ching, you get your 10% off.
Yes. And Sean, you said, have I had any luck just not charging the fees? You mean charging IBO fees, Sean? I've not charged a fee, so I could not give you an answer there. I've always charged the fee. Because if you don't charge the fee, then you figure out your monetization method. Also, you need to have your phone, email, chat. So I recommend at least having 2 to 3 of these forms of communication. Agents not being able to reach their IBO is probably the #1 reason why agents leave, outside of IBO poaching and lying. Agents not being able to reach you. So make sure you have a phone, email, and like a social media contact us form, some kind of way that they can reach you. General knowledge of 1099, and if you're in the Arise to the Top group, I believe I have that paper. I don't know if that's a masterclass or regular one, but the websites and stuff, I know I've posted it in the group with the 1099 information and good links for it. Get acquainted with the help center resources that Arise offers. You know, obviously you can ask questions in the Facebook groups, but also get used to researching yourself. Arise offers different resources, from the virtual assistant to the new ServiceNow stuff portal. They have, and many others. Because I'm recording this and putting it on YouTube, I can't give official names, but in your portal, there are a lot of resources. Your onboarding process, you need to figure out your onboarding process. So what are you going to do from the point of contact when your agent contacts you all the way through getting them enrolled in certification and servicing? What is your process? You need to have that mapped out so that you're not everywhere and panicking when you get your first agent. How you're going to make your money, your monetization method. There are 4 main methods of monetization that most IBOs use. There's the IBO fee that you can charge. A lot of people ask, well, how much do you charge? I've seen fees from $29.95 from some IBOs. I've seen them charge as much as $99 a pay period. I would not do that if I were you, but it's your company. That's extreme. I don't even know how they have agents, but I know an IBO that does it, and they do. Most IBOs fall between the $39 to $59, $69 per pay period mark, usually including the Arise fee, which is $19.75 per pay period per actively servicing agent. That's not agent on your roster, because you're going to have a ton of agents on your roster that are not servicing. We call them squatters. But that's per actively servicing agent on that invoice. And as you get more agents, you'll see that number decrease. So a fee is one method. Some IBOs charge a percentage. So say they'll charge 7% of whatever the agent makes. That's great. If the agent makes a lot, you make a lot. on percentage. If the agent doesn't make a lot, you don't make a lot. So it doesn't break the bank like the flat fee does. Now, the flat fee offers you consistency. You know how many agents you have servicing, you know how much you'll make each pay period. Some IBOs take off the top. So if a Rise is paying $10 an hour, the IBO will pay their agent $8 or $9 an hour. That's probably the most unpopular method amongst IBOs. Some frown upon it. It's your company. You run it the way you want to run it. Just make sure that you're honest and clear about it when you bring your agents on. Don't be deceptive. Don't hide it. Whatever you're doing, make sure you're honest and clear. What if they're servicing but don't work enough hours? Don't work enough hours for what? If you're charging percentage, then it won't matter the hours they work. You can always get the percentage. If you take off the top, the same thing. If you are doing your flat fee and they don't make enough to pay it, well, either one or two things happens. You can just call it a day, or some will charge the next invoice. Me personally, I don't do the carryover, but a lot of IBOs do. Nothing wrong with it. I will warn you, if you're taking off the top, everybody knows that there's 1,000 Arise groups now. Everybody's in groups. Agents talk, IBOs poach. They're going to usually find out that they're getting paid less than what others are getting paid. So be prepared for that if you do take off the top. There's a lot of IBOs that take off the top and don't have an issue with it at all. If that's what they agreed to work for in your contract, that's what they agreed to. But just know that they're going to talk to people who are getting paid what Arise pays. Because like my company, we pay what Arise pays. Yes, Deborah, it'll be on YouTube. And then the fourth way is a combination of. Some people do a fee and take off the top. Again, those combinations, not necessarily popular amongst IBO groups if you discuss that. But again, it is your company. Be transparent about what you're doing so that it doesn't come back and make it look like you're stealing money. Now, what I will say is you're not here to try to make $100 each off of each agent you have service. And like if they're working, Arise is not paying a lot of money. The average client, you're going to fall somewhere between 9 and 12 an hour, some more, some less. But as $9 to $12 an hour, we all know is nothing. So you don't want to sit here and be ridiculous with the fees and what you're taking from your agents. That's not the point of this. If they find out, can I then charge the fee if they insist on getting what Arise pays? Sean, you do what you have agreed to in your contract. So if you have a contract with them stating that they're getting paid $9 an hour, well, that's what needs to happen. You don't want to go off track from your contract. My YouTube channel is Arise to the Top. So those are the 4 ways that most IBOs make money as far as with the company and their agents. Like I said, do what works best for you. And then any perks you want to offer. This is one of my favorite parts, the perks, because literally the sky is the limit. What you don't want to offer, though, are benefits. Okay, we're 1099. This is contract work. You don't do benefits. You don't offer dental, medical, all of that stuff. Now, can you offer them access to it? Like partner with an insurance agent or whoever that's selling this stuff, and maybe you refer the agents and get a percentage of it. I do that. Yes, you can. You can partner with somebody Both of you guys can get paid. You can send your agents if they need that coverage, but you as a company do not offer benefits. When you're offering your perks, do not call them benefits. Examples of perks: you can offer certification completion incentives, where they complete certification after taking calls for so many days, 30, 60, whatever. You can offer them, monetary incentive. You can offer pretty much anything except benefits. We offer discounts, like if you're local, we partner with some of the local companies, and you can get discounts when you shop there if you let them know that you're with our company. We do certification completion incentives. We do classes on credit. We do just different things here and there. We do savings challenges. We do holiday ramp-up incentives, where we give away all kind of stuff during holiday season. We do referral incentives. Gift cards, yes. So just be creative. And get familiar with taxes. You really want to learn about the 1099, and I keep saying that because so many people are getting caught up with misclassifications because they are doing things as if you have employees. Ooh, employment verification, do I do them for my agents? No. I am not their employee. You are not their employee. You need not verify anything. The only thing that I can do for you verification wise is you can take, if they need something like that, and you'll get people that, get benefits from the state that may need verification. You don't do employee verification. Never do employee verification. They can take their contracts and their invoices that you've provided and use that for whatever verification that they need. All right, so when you do get that foundational stuff that we just talked about done, you get all this stuff mapped out, completed, and that foundation, your structure is built. These are some of the things that you need to have for your agents. You need to have an independent agent contract. And you've heard that word from me several times tonight because this is something that you really need to have. Now, mind you, there's not a contract in the world that can guarantee you that you won't get hit with misclassification with the IRS, or you won't get hit with certain things. But a contract may help you and has helped IBOs. So make sure you have your contract in order. W-9, you need to get a W-9 for all your agents that you have. Direct deposit forms. Either if you have someone like Intuit or ADP or whoever doing your pay, then they can provide that. Or if you're doing a Wells Fargo direct pay or Chase and you're doing everything yourself, then I have a direct deposit form in the Arise to the Top file section if you need one to give them to put their information on. Welcome packet. I recommend you do a welcome packet, kind of giving them the ins and outs, what to expect, how to choose hours. A resource packet, who to contact if something goes wrong, if they need to drop hours and don't have access to the hour system. And you guys, I do know the names of the systems. I just, because this is going to be on a public platform, I can't say it. So don't think like she doesn't know any names. So that's why I'm using these different hour system and stuff like that. But just a resource guide about commitment adherence. One of the most important metrics it is the most important metric to them that they're offering, that they have, Arise has. How it works. You want to put stuff like that in there. Stuff in there about being 1099. Your contact information. And if you don't want to create your own welcome packet, there are several people in the group that offer them. Jeanette Black, she's in the Facebook group. She does welcome packets. I know, I think Keisha still does them as well. And independent contract agreements. If you're in masterclass, you guys all know that I give you one to use for free. You don't have to pay for it additional. But if you're not, then Carrie Cato with Girlicity sells them if you don't want to do your own. And any important information that you feel like they need to have, this right here is what you need to give your agents when they're starting out. A CA agreement, what do you mean? In masterclass, Jasmine, a direct deposit form? If so, then yes, it's a masterclass too. So it should be a W-9 in there as well. The ICA agreement, Yetta, the independent contractor agreement, is that what you're asking about? The commitment adherence stuff for your welcome packet, that's usually in a, Jeanette, I think, has that information in her welcome packets.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Sean, her name is Carrie Cato with Girlicity. Deborah, for the contract, do you have them e-sign it? Yes. They do e-sign it. I use Adobe Sign. Some people use Zoho Sign. Some people use Acuity, not Acuity, that's a scheduler. Some people use Hello Sign. And then Concord is a free one that you can use, a little bit more complicated for you to learn, but you know, it's free. Well, they have a free version. So you take a few minutes and learn and use it for free. Oh, and some people use DocuSign. Yeah, I like Adobe Sign because I love templates. I have 1,000 templates in there. But like I said, Hello Sign is popular as well. So definitely e-signature, get them to sign the contracts. Jeanette, you like Hello Sign? All right, so when you sign up your first agent, I have mine sign and fax or scan. Is that acceptable? Perfectly acceptable, Jasmine. I used to have them do it too. Just found it easier to move to e-signature. But yeah, they can sign, fax, or scan it in. Signing up your first agent. When you do get to your first agent, it's exciting. Woo woo! Congratulations. Of course, you're not going to do that before having the foundational stuff that we just talked about. But when you get there, there are several ways you can do it. There are some people who have an automated process going where they automate from beginning to end, get their agents through. That's cool. Some people do interviews. Some people do like weekly sessions where everybody that they have interested or signing up, they'll put in one weekly session, go over the information via PowerPoint one time. Those work too. I've done a combination of, I'm partially automated and then I partially talk to them. I believe that it's very important for you to speak with your agents and get that personalization. Personalization will build loyalty. So automation is great. Like I said, I have a whole lot of automation going on, but don't become a robot. Get some personalization in there at some point, interact. You can walk them through the sign-up process. Don't forget when they sign up to have them put you in as a person who referred them. It'll arise, I'll ask you that. Have them put you in sometime. There's incentives for that. To join your network, they will need your IB ID or your FEIN, which is your EIN. Your IB ID you usually can locate in Starmatic. Oh, you can usually locate it, yeah. So once they put that in, they'll put that in, and you will then have to approve them. And once you approve them that first time, pretty much like a tennis court, the ball will be hit back into their court. They will have to finalize, sign the agreements with the Rise, and then it will come back to you to finalize them. Once you finalize them, they are officially on your roster. When you do your onboarding process, regardless of what you do or how you do it, keep in touch with your agents. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Because if you don't, there's IBOs out there that will. It's almost like being in like a relationship. Like you have to talk to them, you have to follow up and get them through because you know that there's an IBO out there that will do it if you won't. A lot of them too will get stuck in mid-process and will never reach out to you. They'll just give up on a rise altogether until they talk to another IBO that's like, oh yeah, your IBO should have done this for you. Well, we do this over here. So make sure you're following up and keeping in touch with your agents, and never pay for certification for your agents. Now, as a Premier partner, you do receive incentives such as vouchers when you hit Premier status, Premier Gold or Silver. That's one thing. But paying out of pocket for certification for your agents, and I know y'all hear me, and y'all are still, some of y'all still gonna do it. It happens every time. For one, you're crossing legal boundaries at that point. You want to be careful for that. But two, statistically, and all of us that have made that mistake can tell you, probably like 98% of the people you pay for will never make it through certification. And you're going to be out of money and upset. They don't value what they don't pay for. So you're going to get a lot of sob stories, a lot of sad stories. And I'm not saying that they're not true. We have all been down and out. But one thing you know is that we all know how to make happen what we want to happen. If this is something that they really want, let them pay for it. You want to offer them a certification completion incentive at the end of the rope, that's fine, but do not pay for their certification. All right, everybody got that? Everybody go ahead and tell me yes, and then I know it's going to be some of y'all that's paying.
Yes, and I will not be paying.
Do not pay for certification. All right, once you've approved them within your company, set up some time, like I said, to meet them, whether you do a group meeting, whether you do a one-on-one call, whether you shoot them a text and welcome them to your company. However you choose to reach out, whether if you have a private Facebook group and you know hey, welcome such and such, welcome Amanda to the group. Reach out to them. We reach out within 24 hours. I say 24 to 48, but we really reach out within 24. As soon as we hit approve in the portal, my onboarding manager is reaching out. When you reach out and you talk to them, I would have this in documents. You're going to want to be repetitive. So people barely read emails. They don't really read all the way. We're very repetitive from what we have on the site to what we have in the welcome packet to what we talk about. It's just the same stuff over and over. And you'll be amazed at the questions that still get asked. But be repetitive for them so that they get it. For some people, it's a lot. It's new. They're nervous. It's a lot. So they won't remember. But discuss with them what they can expect. Fees, be upfront about the fees, the unpaid certification time, the clients picking hours, drug test affidavits, stuff like that. Get to know the clients. You need to get to know the clients yourself. And actually, Arise created that whole chart for us this year, which was just amazing for the clients that you don't even have to like get to know them trial and error yourself. It's all on the chart. And it's in the portal. If you don't know, it's in the portal. And if you're in masterclass, it's in the file section. But look at the chart. If you have somebody, and I don't ask them, but we definitely let them know, like, if you have extracurricular activities going on, then, these clients drug test. Don't sign up. The chart, it was under the breaking news on the right-hand side of the portal. I didn't look today. It may still be there. But if not, I know that you can go into Ava and type it in, and it'll populate there. Let them know your pay dates. Being a 1099, give them the irs.gov site to read about it. And then as far as, being 1099, they're gonna have to take out their own taxes. They pay it quarterly, pay it yearly, however they're gonna do it, but they're supposed to pay it quarterly. You can put recommendation, 20 to 30% each pay period usually covers the taxes. Not always, situations are different, just recommendation. Don't give tax advice, y'all. Don't give legal advice. If you're not a CPA, if you're not an attorney, don't give advice, all right? Give recommendations always. Any perks you want to offer, how they can reach you. Ask them questions to kind of help them guide them to the clients. If your agent is looking for only day hours, there's certain clients that they don't want to work. If your agent hates tech support, there's certain clients that you just don't want to refer them to. Look in the client guide. Also, let them know how to read about the clients themselves. See, the thing is, you want to help them, but you don't want to hold hands, because then you'll be holding their hand the whole time they're with the company. You want to kind of build stuff so that they can get their own information. Hence the good welcome packet and stuff like that. Let them know the info button next to each client will tell them everything they need to know about the client except the pay. Equipment. Not all equipment matches every client. So you as an IBO need to let your agents know that. Even if they pass the technical test, the equipment test, sometimes it's not accurate. So they need to read on the PDF what equipment they need and make sure it matches. They will not be refunded for not having accurate equipment. All right, so as I kept talking about taxes and being 1099, we are going to hear from Ms. Hill, who is the owner of P-Tax and Accounting, and she will be giving us information about taxes and answering questions. Now, she's not here, to give you personal tax advice, because she can't, not knowing the setup of your company. But she's going to be giving general information, good to know stuff in regards to taxes. But if you do want that personalization and information, there's the phone number, website, and email. You can reach out to her for her services. So, Ms. Hill, I am going to hand it over to you. Do you need me to make you the presenter?
No, actually, I didn't have anything to present. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit, just to give a little bit of information for tonight, if that's okay. All right.
It is perfectly fine. I'm going to mute myself so that you're not echoing.
Okay. And I want to thank you so much, Paris, for giving me the opportunity to come in and speak with the new IBOs and the existing IBOs that's here on the call this evening. I want to say hello to everyone. First of all, I want to get started with just giving you a little bit of information about myself. Again, my name is Pia Hill, and I am an IBO myself. My IBO business is called All Year Staffing Inc. I've been an IBO with Arise for about 2 years now. So I started servicing, well, I was always an IBO from the beginning, but I serviced for a couple of different clients. And then after that, that's when I started the recruiting process, and I started having CSPs to work up under me. Can you guys still hear me? Because I can't see the screen.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. All right, so as I was saying, so that's what's going on currently right now with my IBO business. I also own a tutoring center where we offer both on-site and virtual tutoring services. So I do have a brick and mortar location for students of all ages, and we pretty much cover all subjects with regards to tutoring. So I own a tutoring service business. And lastly, I own a tax and accounting business. And just to give you a little bit of history in regards to that is my mom was an entrepreneur. Actually, pretty much everyone on both sides of my family, my mom and my dad's sides, were pretty much entrepreneurs. So my mom was an accountant as well, and she taught me bookkeeping at the age of 9. So I learned bookkeeping at a very early age. Since she was an accountant and she had her own business, I had taught myself 10 key by touch. And she was noticing that I was doing 10 key by touch without looking. And she looked at me one day and she said, "Baby, are you putting those numbers in without looking?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Oh, will you just wait 1 second?" And she grabbed this folder and had all this big old folder with all these receipts. And she showed me how to categorize them and told me to go ahead and start entering in the numbers into the calculator. And after that, that's how I learned how to, um, that's how I started learning bookkeeping. So I always been really good in school, but definitely in math. And so I had learned how to prepare taxes when I was in middle school. And like I say, I had entrepreneurs in my family. So my uncle and my grandmother, who were both millionaires, CPAs who actually did all of their books for them. So since they learned that I had started doing taxes, they actually had the CPAs to come and train me on how to do their taxes and their accounting. So I've been, I worked their books, and they they were paying me like $365. And that was back in the 80s. And to me, $365 be 15 years old getting that on a tax return to me was big. But when I look at it now, it's like almost like highway robbery. But at the same time, I look at it, I got the experience. And that's what was the most important part of it. And here I am over 30 years later, still able to provide these same services to others. So that's just to give you a little bit of insight with regards to the history of tax and accounting for me. So I currently own a tax and accounting business here in Georgia. I'm originally from California, but I've been in Georgia for almost 16 years now. So I've been having my tax and accounting business here in Georgia since 2004. So I have a very extensive background as it pertains to tax and accounting and payroll. So I just want to go over a little bit information with you with regards to taxes and how it affects basically the CS. Well, it's not too many CSPs. Maybe it's mostly CSPs on this call. So I'm just really going to focus on the IBOs. And I know when you first start out your business, the one thing that you have to find out about is your business structure, which that is something that spoke about earlier in the presentation with regards to finding out or deciding on what type of corporation that you're going to be using for your particular business structure, which could be an LLC or a corporation. The laws, tax laws are different with regards to the type of business structure that you use for your business. So, because of that, you need to make sure that you have someone to prepare your tax return that knows how to prepare corporation tax returns, because corporation tax returns are totally different from just your regular personal or individual tax returns. So, the main things that you want to know, or that kind of set that you want to kind of think about, is how to be able to calculate your income that comes in to your business. Some IBOs have several businesses that they use up under that one company. They might have different products or whatever that they may be selling up under their IBOs. So all of that, along with um, the money that's come, the invoices that come through a rise, all of that is considered a form of income. So you have to make sure that you set up something or have some kind of file set up for yourself, or a spreadsheet where you're able to calculate all of the income that comes in through your business. The other thing is the expenses. There are so many different expenses out there, or deductions, I could say it like that, that you're able to write off on your business to be able to, in most cases, offset your business. Meaning that the way that it works is your income minus your expenses determines what your profit or your loss would be for your business. And depending on your business structure, determines if it will your profit or your loss will affect your personal tax return, or if it will just stand alone. So all of that makes a difference. So I advise you highly to make sure that you get someone that knows how to prepare corporation returns. I see many IBOs inside of the groups. They say, "Oh, I got this. I know how to do this 1, 2, and 3. I already know how to do or file my corporation return." And most of the time, when I have a conversation with them behind the wall, as they call it on Facebook, a lot of times they don't even know what their business structure is, and it's a lot of other things that they're not really clear on. So what I'm saying to you is that you want to first start again with basically like creating some type of spreadsheet, or come up with some kind of system for your business where you can calculate all of your income, and then another sheet with all of your expenses. That information in turn you could take to your tax preparer to be able to help you. That's the first step, with being able to help you get your tax returns prepared for your business. Now, I'm going to be offering a course for both CSPs and a course for IBOs to go more into detail with regards to the different expenses that you could be able to write off, and just to go also into more of different incomes or different ways to report your income as well, as far as your tax return is concerned. So the course that I'm gonna have for the IBOs, I'm definitely gonna post it in the Arise to the Top Facebook page so that you guys can see it. It will be of low cost, something that you could be able to afford, because I do understand that you guys are new IBOs, so you're just starting off. So I'm not going to try to hit your pockets too hard, but it will be a course that you would be able to utilize that will help you with your business for this, being able to get it ready for tax season. Tax season is coming up, depending on your type of business structure. If you have an S corporation, your taxes are due March 15th, 2019. So there's different dates and deadlines for your tax returns. So you have to make sure that you know what these deadlines are, and make sure that you're prepared um, for, have your taxes prepared in time so that you could be able to submit your return on time, so that you don't end up receiving penalties for late filings, because the penalties are very high. Sometimes I've seen penalties from $150 to $200 just for late filings alone. Now, I'm also going to create a course also for the CSPs, and with regards to the course for the CSPs, I'm going to create an affiliate program for the IBOs. So that means that if you send your CSPs over to take the course, then after that, you could get an incentive for sending them over to take the course. So I think that would be the ability for you to be able to make a little extra money for yourself. Now, you guys have any questions so far with regards to anything that I spoke of? Again, just like Paris said, I'm not able to go into detail with regards to your taxes, because I have to see your entire profile in order to be able to answer that. Oh, and I do want to also mention, with the tax reform, there's a lot of changes. It's been over 1,000 changes with regards to the tax reform. I'm updated on the tax changes in the laws. I understand what's going on, and how to be able to service any of the IBOs with regards to tax preparation as well. So any questions?
Cassandra
Yes.
asked, I don't know if you can see the chat, but Cassandra asked if should they be keeping receipts for their purchases?
That's going to be strictly up to her, the way she wants to do it. Now, some people keep receipts, and then some people just use bank statements. The bottom line is you just have to have the evidence with regards to any expenses that you may have, and the same thing with regards to income. So if you want to keep the receipt, the actual paper receipt itself, you can take a picture of it and set up some type of filing system for yourself for the receipts. Or some people use, I think it's called the Neat machine or something like that, where you could, and there's different apps and things like that where you could be able to keep your receipts that way, so you don't have to keep the hard copy. You can have it as an electronic copy. But when you own a corporation, you are responsible for keeping all of your records until the corporation itself closes. Okay. So you have to always make sure that you have all of that information no matter what.
If you have expenses but just started the business, so no income, will I still need to file? That's the next question.
Yes. Yes. You always need to file when you have a corporation, no matter what. Even if you had no income and you had no expenses, you have to file that corporation at zero. Yeah, everything, you would just zero it out. Everything on there would zero out. But no matter what, you are still obligated to file that tax return, no matter the circumstances, until you close that business.
Question, I may need to message you on Facebook about this, but do you do this form of presentation in an IBO CSP type of meeting or CSPs?
Well, that's what we're doing for this. This is for the IBO meeting. So I could do it for a CSP
I'm
meeting
asking.
if you would like for me to. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I also have the course that you can utilize as well. So yes, if you wanted to invite me over to come to your CSP meetings and speak with your CSPs in regards to the tax structure and how that works on their end and how it will affect them, I would be more than happy to come in and do that presentation for you.
I think probably touching base with you on Facebook about it will help more because I have my end of things covered, but I know I have
Mhm.
some agents that don't know anything about the
Yes,
1099 process. So if
absolutely.
you could come into probably the last team meeting we had this month and kind of speak on it and offer what you do for them through there, then I think that would kind of help me out a lot instead of just telling them to find somebody.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Just reach out to me. I am on Facebook. My name is Pia Hill. Just go ahead and inbox me that way. And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm not sure. I didn't catch your name, but thank you for
It's
that question. I'm sorry.
it's Javon.
Oh, hi, Damon. So basically, what I did is, and this is something that I do when I'm recruiting, I'm able to really sell my CSPs based on just the tax portion. I'm not saying, I mean, I sell them on everything with regards to, and I don't know if I really want to use the word sale, you know what I mean? But that is one of my recruiting or my marketing um, strategies that I use in order to get CSPs. But I really push and explain to them and kind of break down um, to them like their expenses and how important it is and how it's a benefit to them when they're an independent contractor and they are able to write off a lot of the expenses that they were not able to write off when they were W-2 employees. And especially now that we have the tax reform, um, and I'm not sure if a lot of you guys are familiar with this, but one of the things with the tax reform um, that's now missing is the 2% limitation, where a lot of people were able to write off a lot of things as it pertains to their jobs. They can't do that anymore unless they have a business. So that's something that's a very good selling point as it comes to your CSPs, because now they will look at it like, oh my goodness, be able to write off all of these expenses that I had before that I couldn't, write off before, when I was just a W-2 employee. Now I can actually, I actually have my own business and I can write these things off. So that's something that, like I say, I really push when it comes to recruiting. And to be honest, the CSPs get really excited just for the fact that they know that they can have these write-offs where it offsets their income, where they don't have to pay so much back in taxes, if anything.
So we have a couple more questions. It says, it might have been what you were talking about earlier. They asked if it was only for corporations or if that would include S corp business structure to file taxes. Well, okay, whether income or not, does that include S corp structures? Is that all structures if you don't have income to file?
Yes, it doesn't matter which structure it is. Like I say, it's all, if it's a corporation return, you still have to report it.
Okay, next question is, I'm having an issue with having to transfer money from my personal account to business to pay business expenses. How much harm will that be?
It's a lot of harm because what you want to do is you want to make sure that if you're okay, so let me say it like this. They have what is called this term or phrase that's used that's called commingling the funds. And that means that you're mixing your business funds along with your personal funds. And that's really a no-no, especially as it pertains to IRS. You can end up getting in a lot of trouble with regards to that. So I suggest that you make sure that you keep those transactions totally separate. And if I'm not sure whoever that is, you can inbox me and we can actually, if you're on Facebook, you can inbox me and we can have a discussion and I can kind of advise you or guide you on how to, be able to eliminate that situation and get you in the right direction where you need to be so that you don't get caught up in commingling the funds.
Yes, Jasmine said thank you. Then do you also assist with state taxes?
Yes. Yes, I assist with all state taxes.
Okay, some IBOs said that you cannot report zero profit. My accountant never told me that is that myth. I haven't made any money with the rise. I haven't found anything to say that this is true as I have other businesses.
Okay, well, first of all, zero, um, when you actually have a zero, if you're filing a zero on your tax return or your corporation return, it's not a profit. All you're doing is when you're using the zero, when you're zeroing out that particular corporation return, you have to, that's just a requirement through IRS. So first of all, you would not research that information through a RISE. You would actually research that information through the IRS as you prepare your tax returns and you submit your tax returns to IRS and not through a RISE. So I suggest that you do some more research in regards to that. And if you want to, you can go ahead and come into my inbox and I can find the publication for you with regards to that information and I can send it over to you, or I would suggest that you contact your accountant since you already have one and you may need to speak with them in regards to it again. But no matter what, you have to submit some form of tax return for that business as long as it is still open.
Okay, so we have a few more questions, you guys, and then we got to keep going. I know this is all some good information. If you are just starting out and you have to use your personal funds, then what?
Okay, so basically what that is it's a form of using your capital in order to be able to set up to use your capital to set up or run your business. That's something that you and I would need to talk about outside of this platform because there are some personal questions that I'll need to ask you as it pertains to your business. And then I can provide you a little bit more insight on how you would go about addressing that.
Is it best to set yourself up as an employee of your corporation and give yourself a salary?
Well, as it pertains to being an IBO, you're asking about being an employee. Is that what she's asking?
I think so. Setting herself up as an employee and paying that. Well, I won't answer that one. I'll let you go ahead.
Right, exactly. No, I would not suggest that because of many reasons. But like I said, go ahead and hit me in my inbox and we can have that discussion. Because
especially if you're servicing, you guys, you have to be careful. And I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, I'm not even like versed in that at all. But I do know that if you are servicing and you're doing the same job as your contractors, you do not want to be an employee and then set them up as contractors, because that will be an issue for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only that, when a Rise is paying you, they're invoicing you as a contractor, not an employee. So that's the other side to it. All right. Any other questions, or that's it?
I think that is it. And let me put your information back up here.
Okay.
And all right, you guys, I'm gonna put the information back up here for reaching out and getting in touch. Let's see.
And then while you're doing that, I just want to also just put out there just some of the other products that I actually offer, through my business, which is, tax preparation, of course. I offer payroll, accounting, business setup, and I'm in the process of helping people start a tax business if that's something that you want to do on the side. Now, there is a post currently on the platform that is not for me, but I do something that's kind of close to that. But that's for anyone who's interested in learning more about, taxes and setting up a tax business.
Sherry asked for let me see who asked that. Charlene, are you asking if you should pay yourself when owning a corporation? Are you asking if you should make yourself an employee servicing with the Rise and everyone else a contractor?
Is that question?
I was really asking it for just the corporation in general, but then I see where those lines can get blurry. When you said that, I thought,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make it blurry.
Right.
Daquan, here is the information with the email and phone number for PTAX and accounting that you can reach out to. Also, Facebook. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Hill, for all of the great information and answering the questions. Definitely love getting information from the experts. So, and when you do get the classes going, definitely post it in the group, because I know a lot of people would be interested in it as well.
Okay.
Let's see. Is the website for IBO services as well, or just accounting? Is your website going to be for IBO services as well, or just accounting?
It's just for the accounting, but they can still reach out to me with regards to IBO services, and and I can, guide them on which, on additional information. But they can actually just reach out to me using with regards to IBO services too. That's just contact information.
Daquan is the Arise to the Top group on Facebook. The phone number is here. I'll put this information in the chat box for you guys too. Okay. Somebody said I didn't see the phone number. Can you guys see my screen?
I can see it. Well, again, Paris, thank you.
Yeah, I
I
can
do
see it too.
appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come and speak to the IBOs tonight, and just being a part of your presentation. I am honored.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for coming, and I look forward to working with you in the future. I said thank you for all the great information, because Lord knows I can't give any kind of tax information.
Thank you.
Oh, I posted it in there like 3 or 4 times, y'all, in chat. Sorry, I didn't see it posting the first time. All right, so the information's in
Okay.
chat like 30 times. All right, y'all, so we're gonna move forward and wrap this up momentarily, because I know those of you that have been in my other classes, though, knew that I was probably not telling the truth when I said it was only gonna be an hour. Um, But I just want to make sure you guys get all the information, because I've seen all the questions in the group. And so I just want to make sure that you guys kind of get the information and a head start, especially the new IBOs. So as far as fees go, doing this as a whole, you're going to incur fees for, as I told you earlier, for every active agent per pay period. The more agents you have, the less that fee is after 6 agents. Arise will pay twice a month, and the pay calendar's in the portal. It's also in the file section if you're in masterclass, and it may be in the file section of Arise to the top. I don't remember if I put it in that one, but it is in the portal nonetheless. You'll have your yearly renewal fees for your legal entity as an LLC or incorporation, and whatever those state fees are, and any other fees you have. A lot of people ask, do you have to have a business license to become an IBO? There, in some places, yes, you do. That's another thing why I said to, get Legal Shield at least when you first start off, so that you can ask those legal questions to an actual attorney, a lawyer. Some locations do require you to have a business license and all of that stuff to have your at-home business and IBO. So definitely look into that too. What I gave you at the beginning of class was your legalization requirements for Arise. That does not count any state or city or county requirements that you may have. How we update the W-9 with Arise. You should be able to do that in the portal. Are you in the Arise to the Top group? If so, let me double check that okay. I'm gonna double check that after the meeting and so I can make sure that that's accurate. There's a certification fee for your agents. Of course, we've already established earlier that you are not going to pay that fee, right? Everybody, you're not paying that fee. Your agent's paying the fee. But that nonetheless is a cost incurred for the Arise platform. Any fee you may have, you'll have fees for any programs that you use to manage your agents and business upkeep. So fees for, however you choose to pay your agents. If you're using a CRM, any type of program that you're using, hosting fees for your website, business phone fees if you use one of the services that cost. So any managing or upkeep fees you'll have, and keep, as Ms. Hill stated, keep track of those fees that you have for tax time. I have a Excel spreadsheet that I use to keep track of it. Some people use QuickBooks, FreshBooks, all the different software that they have, but either way, keep track. Software is great. I'm still kind of old school, so I do the old Excel sheet, print it out so I can have paper copy type of thing. But whatever works for you, do it. Just keep track of it. Any fees you have for marketing. There's a lot of free effective ways to market, but there's also paid ways. I've done both. I do both. So those are fees that you may incur as well. Those are going to be your basic fees, though, as an IBO, or just on the platform at all. There's no longer a background check fee. There hasn't been almost this whole year. So that's not a fee that you have to worry about. Your agents are not charged for background checks or drug tests. I get that question a lot when they have to do those things. They're going to ask you that. They pay the certification. They're not charged outside of that. Now, other fees that they may incur, on certain clients, they may have to purchase equipment. There's one client in particular that they will have to finance the equipment or pay it up front. And then there's another client that if their equipment is not returned, there's a fee. All right, recruiting. Where can you find agents? Well, there's agents everywhere. Now that you have walked into this entrepreneurship step, you need to start thinking as a business owner. I tell everybody, like, every day you should be making contact. Somebody should know what you do. From the moment you get up and leave the house, car signs, great way to advertise your business. You can get them on Vistaprint relatively inexpensively. Get a design made on Fiverr. But car signs, your clothes, you can get t-shirts made, workout clothes. Like, I don't buy big, Michael Kors, all that good stuff. I don't do that. Like, I'm going to wear a brand, it's going to be my brand. I wear my brand so much, sometimes my husband's like, can you put something else on? So market yourself. You're your own walking billboard. Market yourself. Talk to people. When you're out, and especially when you're out at places where you know they get paid less than what a rise pays, or they're going to make the same. Talk to them. Let them know what you do. Leave a card. Schools, social media. Facebook is great to get agents. It's getting a bit saturated, but it's a great tool. Job fairs, you can do virtual job fairs. You can do job fairs in person. If you know the college is doing a job fair, go talk to them about adding a table for yourself. Military bases, great places to market and recruit. Word of mouth, one of the best ways. Kids functions, sports functions, kids activities. My kids have shirts with my company's names on them, and I send them to school in them sometimes. Going to get your kids a good old work from home, ask me how shirt. The teachers will see it. Let your kids know what you do. My 8-year-old, she's like the best marketer I have. Everywhere we go, you better believe everyone knows that I own a restaurant delivery service. They know our hours. They know that I own a work from home. My 8-year-old is on it. Talk to your kids and get them involved. But those are just some ideas of places where you can do recruiting. How long are the CSPs able to work for a client after they're certified, Dequan? They get SOWs. So most SOWs, depending if it's certification or if it's a production SOW, run 30 to 90 days. And they renew them. They're not guaranteed renewal, but they usually renew them if metrics are good, stuff like that. Now, this servicing, it's not like I tell my agents all the time, it's not something that you want to put all your eggs in one basket. Can you make a living and good money working a rise? You can. You definitely can. The problem is they're independent contractors. This is not an employee situation where they're, kind of guaranteed the job. Like, their SOW may not get renewed. Or if their metrics fail, they may get terminated, and there's no warning. There is no, please get yourself together before you lose your contract. Now, sometimes the PS will reach out to you. Sometimes, of course, you should be keeping up with metrics, but I've had agents that were terminated with good metrics. low hours. Sometimes clients leave, sometimes we get new clients. You just kind of have to prepare for all those different types of situations. So my point is, if you get an agent in that's making this their sole source of income, put them in, recommend that they get 2 clients, not just 1. So that it's a little bit more consistent for them. All right, we've talked about monetizing, so I won't go back over this again. But what I will say is monetize, you know, we talked about the 4 methods, use that, but also you being a business owner, dig outside of Arise. Use this as a stepping stone. I always say that, as a stepping stone to other business ventures. Create streams of income within this stream of income. You're going to need it. Because just think about it, even just starting out, if you get 5 agents today in certification, well, we know that all 5 are not going to make it through, more than likely. But they're in unpaid certification the majority of the time. Sometimes it's earn while you learn, but even that's after a couple weeks. They're not earning, you're not earning. If you get 5 agents in there today and all of them make it through, you're still about a month and a half before you even get anything for having the agents. A month and a half to 2 months. Build streams of income within this stream of income. And you can easily do it becoming affiliate partners. Now, and you can see it in the IBO groups all the time, there's a lot of IBOs doing different things outside of Arise that you can become affiliates of to make some streams of income. You can get an Amazon affiliate account added to your website, so that when your agents need to purchase headsets or whatever work at home equipment they need to purchase, you can refer them to your website. You'll make money off of each sale. Get your business credit in order. This is not don't just come in this as, oh, I'm going to get agents. This is a business. Come into it business minded. We're looking for different streams. We're looking for business credit, affiliate pay. Let Arise be one of your clients. Don't let Arise be your whole business. And I meant to talk about it in the beginning, but I didn't. You can't figure out how to get your Amazon link on your website. You have WordPress or Wix, or what do you have, Jasmine? Because usually, like I know in WordPress, it's just a matter of highlighting or linking the site to, like, if you have shop on your site, taking shop and literally pressing that little link and putting the URL in there. All right, I can't do it tonight, but Jasmine, inbox me and then I'll get with you tomorrow and see if I can figure it out with you. Some good tools, you guys. And I said we're about to wrap this up, but some good tools to use for your company, HR portals and CRMs. If you have a WordPress site, there's WordPress plugins for portals. It's like $59 for the plugin. You can, if you know how to do it. WordPress is really easy to learn. It looks hard at first, but YouTube videos will teach you everything you need to know. Activate the plugin and you can add those portals to your site with the plugin. You don't even have to go with the outside system. Wix also, from what I heard, has portals that you can have on that site. Zoho CRM, their CRM that I know a lot of agents are using, especially if you go through the automation classes. Salesforce is another CRM. Communication-wise, email, I love Gmail's business email. Because they have so many plugins, automation stuff, like there's so many things you can do with Gmail. So I really love it. GoDaddy has email, Zoho has email, professional phone numbers, Grasshopper is great, Google Voice. So depending on your end goals, Google Voice is free. What I will say is, if you're looking to build business credit and stuff like that, I wouldn't do Google Voice. But just starting out, it's free. You can always do Google Voice if you have to. Phone.com though, like they're $9.99 a month starting out. And these are all apps that you put on your phone that the calls come through on. Ring Central, Javon said is good for most, but yeah, I've tried Ring Central. There's also Jive. Websites, I love GoDaddy. There's Wix. You can do the Gmail, the Google hosting, Bluehost. There's a ton of different people that do websites now. Schedulers. You need a program to make your appointments for like interviews, or if you want, say your agents want to set up a one-on-one with you. Calendly is a great scheduler. They have a free version. Acuity, I use Cal. Actually, I've used all three of these. Setmore is pretty good. They have a free version. Acuity, they're good as well. And we've already gone over business accounts. Brand building, y'all know, well, the ones that know me and have taken my other classes, y'all know I swear by Fiverr. Matter of fact, I approved the design today in Fiverr for a sweater. You can get anything done in Fiverr, from professional voicemails, shirts, logos, business cards, like literally anything you need. If you need ads translated into other languages, like you can get all that stuff done in Fiverr. Vistaprint. I love Vistaprint. I have a corporate account with them with my business credit. So we do net 30 with them. Vistaprint, you can get your stuff printed out, cards, and Vistaprint always has those coupons like $9.99 for 500 business cards. But Vistaprint, you can get all kind of stuff done. Hootsuite, that is for that's automated posting for like social media. Canva, if you're having to do a lot of the things yourself, making ads and stuff like that, Canva is an excellent place to be. And they simplify everything for you. I don't do graphic design at all, but you would never know when I go into Canva. And National Pen is a great place to get things for your agents, like cups, pens, stuff like that. Football season, like really they have promotional items is what it is. And with them, you can order stuff and pay once you receive the items. And usually it gives you a couple weeks to pay. And of course, you want to pay your bills on time, but they really don't start like hounding you for like 3 weeks even after that. Organization stuff, Trello is great. There's a few other boards too, but I swear by Trello. I love Trello. If you haven't used Trello to organize your thoughts, just organize your life, Trello is great. E-signature to sign your contracts and stuff like that. As we talked about earlier, Adobe Sign, DocuSign, HelloSign, Concord, most popular ones. There's plenty of other ones out there. My recommendation to you is if you don't use one of these, just make sure they're legally binding. There are some websites out there that offer e-signature that are not legally binding. It'll tell you, usually on the website, it'll be one of the first things they say, that it's fully legally binding. Promo videos for advertising. Biteable, Animato, they do great promo videos if you want to make some. It's a great way to market. Paying your agents, Intuit has pretty well priced stuff to be able to pay your agents. Wells Fargo Direct Pay, Chase Direct, and we talked about other ones earlier, so I won't be redundant. You'll need to make your invoices. You can go to Microsoft Word, and they have great different design for invoices, and you can use those. Jeanette Black, she's in the Facebook group too. I don't know if she's still in here. She also sells an invoice package. She's not.
I'm still here.
Oh, you still here? Okay.
Yes, I've been on it too.
Okay, Jeanette's in here. She has like packages for invoices and stuff like that that you can get from her that's already made, and like hers calculates your stuff for you. So like at the end of the year, your year to date's already calculated. and it makes it very easy to do 1099s. By the way, I don't think I said it earlier, but that is one thing that you need to send out to your agents. And I get that question a lot. You do have to send out 1099s. If they make less than $600, you're not required to send them one. Now, not that you're not required to report or file on them, you're just not required to send them the 1099. But anything over that, you have to send them a 1099 by the deadline. Any questions on any of these tools? Like I said, these are just like tools, just kind of ideas out there for you guys to look into if you don't already know about them to help your business. Most of these are free or very inexpensive. And remember, keep up with your expenses for the ones that cost. Yes, they need to fill out a W-9. Tawana says she has Miss Black's packages and they're great. I have the invoice too, and it is great. Yes, this will be posted. I know it's probably a lot of information, you guys. Sorry about that. All right, so questions that I got before class. I will go over real quick, and I promise you, y'all, we're gonna be out of here by 10. We are on the way out. If you've never been an agent and want to learn the systems, are there any modules or anything that you can play around with to become familiar with the platform? No. I mean, you can play around in some of the, not really play around. You can look around in the portal, but as far as for the clients, are there modules for you to play with? No. You have to actually service to be able to access the systems for each client, and every client, the systems are different. All right, Arise offers training through certification process, but can you provide additional training to help agents? Okay, so we're going to remove the word training out of vocabulary, and I'd really just copied and pasted these questions. So everything is just certification, y'all. You don't want to refer to anything as training. It's all certification, but can you provide additional certification to help agents? It's a yes and no. If you have experience in the client, you want to help them out, you can help them out. But if you don't have experience in the client, it's going to be hard. One thing that I do, because I have agents on every client across, all the IBOs we have, is I offer my veteran agents incentives to mentor the agents coming in. And that just kind of takes care of that. When you get a veteran agent and a client, they can mentor your ones coming in. Explain the process about the fees that are paid to Arise and what we deduct from their pay, as well as how often. So the fee that Arise is getting is $19.75 per pay period per actively servicing agent. And the fees that you take from your agents is going to be dependent upon how you monetize. But the $19.75 you'll want to get. Can the average person become an IBO where you need training and proper tools? Like, do you need to take a class? If you're not familiar with the platform, I always recommend you do some kind of class or research or service. Do something to get familiar with the platform. Being an IBO is very competitive. Can the average person become an IBO? Yes and no, if the average person is willing to put the work in. I told you guys, there's a lot of work that goes into building a company like this. You don't have to recruit to be an IBO either. If you just want to be an IBO in service, you can. You don't have to recruit. Some people do that so that they don't have to pay the IBO fees. Is it worth it? It just depends. Honestly, if you get under an IBO that has network and has connections within the Arise platform, so paying the fee is not the worst thing in the world. If you don't want to recruit, being a CSP, if you have an honest IBO, because your IBO will be willing to go to bat for you. And if you have one that's experienced, they can go to bat for you and sometimes win when you get in these pickles. And maybe you're avoiding the agent fee to the IBO, but you still have the fees, the legalization fees of incorporating, the yearly fees for that upkeep. You know, you file taxes differently, so any fees associated with that. But that's just my personal opinion. I definitely recommend, like I said, though, if you're not familiar, to do some sort of a certification or something. When I get somebody to sign up, what do I do first? At what point in the process? From them contacting me or from them getting signed up for a client? If the average SOW takes about 2 to 3 months, and some certifications take 1 to 2 months to complete non-paid, how do agents keep steady work? The SOWs get renewed, but when they're in certification, they'll have a certification SOW. And then once they complete it, they'll get a production one. Can an IBO lease equipment to its agents for a fee, or is it better to have them as employees and provide the tech equipment? I would never recommend you having your agents as employees. Arise is not consistent enough for that. But again, you can try it out and see if it works for you. But just remember, as when they become employees, then you have to start looking into benefits and stuff like that you'll have to pay. And what step of the onboarding process do I have them sign the agreement? Some IBOs have them sign it as soon as they onboard. A lot of IBOs have them sign it when they enroll in certification. Yvette, let me see. Well, when they come into the company, we talk to them, let them know all the information. We go over clients with them. They get signed up. We send them all their documents. They sign all that stuff. About 10 days before class, we send them an email, make sure they're still planning to attend. Well, about 15 days. Make sure they're still planning to attend. And then again at like the 5-day mark. And then while they're in certification, we send them emails pretty much weekly. We send them one after their first day. And then weekly checking on them, making sure everything's going okay. And then we usually have monthly meetings. Are IBOs allowed to lease equipment to its agents for a fee? That would be along the lines of me giving legal advice, Daquan. I can't really answer that question. There are IBOs that do sell the equipment to agents, though. No problem. You said, where's the no meme? All right, let's see. Next, what is the estimated income or income potential for IBOs? What size team is needed for a particular salary range? Estimated income potential, I mean, it's an infinite possibility. Usually, I guess it's honestly, it depends on how you're monetizing and what you're charging, what you're not charging, what you're doing. But usually 20 to 40 agents will get you a decent monthly amount, probably depending on what, like I said, how you're monetizing, you know, 2,000 to 4,000 a month, if not more, give or take. And some people reach it at 10 to 15, depending on how they monetize. How does a CSP usually stay with an IBO? Can you elaborate on that question? How long? It really just depends on what their goals are. I have agents, CSPs that come into my company and become their own IBOs, which is cool. No problem with me. We have a whole program built around agents becoming IBOs. And then I have agents that don't want to deal with the legal stuff with it. I have agents that have been servicing for a couple years with me, and they try different clients, they do different things. It just depends on what their goals are. Some, like I said, some agents just want to start with an IBO to get a feel for it, and then they want to become IBOs. So some agents want the extra income, and maybe they have a wedding to pay for, so they're not doing it long term. And some agents really enjoy it and love their IBO and do it long term. I think if you keep communication open, that you're honest about everything, make it fun, usually your agents will stick around. How do you know how much your agent should get paid? It'll let you know on the opportunity announcement, and then Arise will generate an invoice that will let you know what each agent was paid and the deductions taken from them. That's in the portal. Do you make extra money when a CSP leaves and becomes an IBO on their own? It depends. If you're Premier, you can, the IBO incubator. I keep hearing you refer to Masterclass, and I've heard several people took it and loved it. Do you have information? Well, yes, I do. I'm actually going to tell you guys in just a minute about that. Are there things you look for when selecting the right client to begin and working with first? Daquan, it just really depends on the agent. If you have a less experienced agent, there are certain clients you'll want to put them in. If you have agents that hate tech support, as that you'll have to get to know the clients and then know what it is your agent is looking for. My favorite clients right now, most of my agents really love the cruise clients, the theme park clients, the bed and breakfast clients. Those are the most popular amongst my IBOs. There's another one. I'm trying to think of the nickname for it. The home building warehouse store client. A lot of them love that client, not so much recently, but a lot of them love that client, the orange and white one. Let's see. What to expect, what to prepare when hiring your first CSP. All right, so first, you're not hiring anybody, you're partnering. But expect to get a lot of questions. Expect to have your foundation built so that you can answer those questions. Expect for them to be nervous. When you get the agents, or when you just get the people in general that are like, this is a scam, this is a scam, don't waste your time going back and forth with people, convincing them that they need to come to you. Don't waste your time. People will say what they will say. All right. President Obama has talked about Arise. Arise has been on the reel. Arise has definitely enough resources on the internet for them to see that it's credible. What you need to do is learn what an independent contractor is so that you can explain it to your agents in a way that makes them feel comfortable. It's all about your verbiage. A lot of people say that's a big hurdle for them, but it's really just about the verbiage. I posted a meme on my page the other day, and it was like, you think putting a small investment is a scam. Imagine waiting a whole year for a 50-cent raise. You have to know what you're talking about so that you can explain it to them. What I want you guys to do too before you really begin your journey and for 2019 is create a vision board. I do vision board contests and masterclass. Each masterclass we do a vision board contest, and the winner gets like $100 for it. But do a vision board and map out what your 2019 is going to look like. You know, you can say it, you see it, you do it. And be specific. Do a goal chart. Be specific. Put some dates on the goal. You know, don't just put, hey, I want to start a IBO and I'm gonna have 100 agents by December, you know, by the end of the year. Be realistic, but set some dates and some goals. And then once you have that vision board, hang it up, because I promise you, you're gonna get super frustrated and want to quit. And those are the days that you're gonna need to look at that vision board so that you can stay focused and on track. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to throw my computer out the window, or jump through the screen, and just like, you know, go off. Or how many times I've been like, you know what, I'm hanging this up. It gets very frustrating. Also know that you're gonna have squatters. This is a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Only about 10% of your roster is actually gonna service. So if you have 20 agents on your roster, expect 2 to 5 to service. Hopefully 2 to 10 for you. So your squatters, what do you do with them? Some IBOs get rid of them. I keep them on my roster. I have squatters come back in service after 1 or 2 years. Life situations change. They may have signed up and not joined, and 6 months from there lost their main source of income. It's not hurting you to have the squatters on your roster. What hurts you is when they drop certification, don't complete it, stuff like that, or get their SOW terminated. But having them just on your roster doesn't hurt you. So make that vision board, map out specific goals, make it not just business, personal life, you know, spiritual, kids. Make a vision board though. Have a plan. Have a plan of action written out. I do send out emails to squatters every month, sometimes bi-weekly, bi-monthly, sorry. And if I give vouchers or have incentives, I send out emails with that too. How does earning revenue by CSPs becoming IBOs work? It's the incubator that they have, and it's you getting credit. It's really hard to get, honestly. And I have to pull up the I'm gonna do more meetings. We're doing a whole like series this month going into next year for it, and I'll explain it in another meeting because I have to pull up the information on it. All right, so y'all, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank y'all for coming. For those who are wondering about the masterclass that were asking about it in chat, I do have masterclass. The next live one starts January the 9th, but it's a self-paced situation. So you really take the course at your own pace. And then I do 4 live sessions on it. You have a Facebook page. You get email templates, contracts, all kind of stuff. But in masterclass, you learn about being 1099, dealing with taxes. You learn about verbiage, monetizing within and outside of Arise, staying legal, recruiting, marketing, becoming premier, all the stuff on the PowerPoint, growing your IBO, verbiage. Remember I told you verbiage. We talk about verbiage. I said you get templates, documents, and setting up your company from start to finish. So that's what masterclass is for those of you guys that asked. I mean, you can ask about any Rise to the Top group. I've literally had hundreds of IBOs go through it this year alone. So if you want to join, definitely hop in. I'll be glad to have you. No problem, Darlene. How do drop certification or canceled SOWs hurt you? If you are Premier, it can get you kicked out of Premier. If your certification rate falls below 90%, it can get you kicked out.
60%. 60%.
The certification rate?
Yeah, 60% certification rate, 90% maintain
Oh,
SOWs.
yeah. Sorry, I did say that wrong. True story. Good night. Thank you, Darlene. She said it was well worth taking the class. Sherry, I will be here. I'm going to stop the recording so that you can talk. So thank you guys for coming. We'll do a few more meetings on different subjects, and we'll have different people coming in and talking to you guys about marketing and different stuff. So I'll post about it in the group when the meetings are. And then I know I see a lot of you in here that are enrolled in the masterclass for January. So you guys, I will see y'all then as well. Deborah, it's a rise to the top is the name of it. Thank you, Rhonda. Yes,
Thank
I hope
you.
to have you in masterclass,
Thanks,
Stephanie.
Paris.
No problem. Thank you. Good night. Good night, Javon. Thank you for coming. Oh, no problem. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you, Cassandra. Barbara, Tawana, good night, Sabria. Thank you. Good night, Charlene. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Renee. No problem, Kalia. Good night, Tamika. And Brianna, will there be another one after January? Yes. You can hop in masterclass at any time. Like I said, it's mostly self-paced. And once you're in, you can come in any classes. Like we're like an old sorority. You're in it for life. So you can come in, hop in any classes you want to hop into. No problem, Jasmine. Thank you for coming. Have a great night.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, everybody, we are wrapping everything up. The link will be below this video if you are interested in enrolling in masterclass. The link's below the video, as well as the link to our Facebook Arise to the Top page. You can join that group if you are currently an IBO. If you're not an IBO yet, there will be a link for another group that you can join as well. But the Arise to the Top is for IBOs only at this point. And if you have any questions, definitely post it below the video or reach out.